everyone, my name is Clantis and welcome to the clan. So without further ado, let's get into this video. So like I already mentioned in my earlier video that Dr. Nandipha Magudumana, Thabo Bester and 10 other co-accused appeared at the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court where they were basically coming to hear the case being postponed for the 11th of October 2023 due to insufficient evidence that they are still gathering. Oh my goodness, then we heard a drop of a bombshell from, I think, one of the defense lawyers, where they actually reported to the court that witness number 14 is contacting the accused. I'm not sure if witness number 14 is trying to get the accused in trouble or whatever the strategy is. However, the defense lawyer, of course, asked the court or made an application to the court if they could tell the state to tell the witnesses to refrain from contacting the accused, which I totally agree with that, because I do not understand why witness number 14 would be doing something like that, because it's not like they were not sitting and not watching the proceedings thus far, where the accused were given stern warnings that they should not contact, intimidate, directly or indirectly with the witnesses, and there a witness goes and contacts them using Facebook and WhatsApp or whatever else that he was trying to communicate with the accused. And I am very glad that the court did order the state to ensure that they convey the message to all witnesses that they are not allowed to have any contact with the accused. Then in the court, Dr. Nandipha Magudumana, that is accused number 4, and Thabo Bester, who is accused number 5, the court was reminded that they reserved their application for bail until further notice. Well, we do know that Dr. Nandipha Magudumana has taken her case to the Supreme Court of Appeal to appeal against the Bloemfontein High Court that said, well, you came to South Africa voluntarily, or you consented to being sent to South Africa without screaming and kicking because you wanted to see your children, and therefore your extradition, I don't quite understand that, because the court established that she was not deported as deportation rules were not followed, or extradition rules were not followed. This extradition was disguised as a deportation, and then in the same breath he says, oh, well, because you consented and therefore I dismiss your application. And he dismissed the application twice. The first time it was an urgent application which the court decided to entertain because the merits of the case seemed to hold water for the court to hear, and that is why it made the determination it had made that indeed South Africa kidnapped you from Tanzania. It did not follow extradition rules, and your deportation or your extradition was disguised as a deportation, and then no, you did not scream and kick when you were picked up. Now, with Thabo Bester, because if you did look at extradition laws or international extradition laws or processes, you would know that in order for an extradition to be enacted, the person that escaped the country where they are supposed to be getting prosecuted, or they escape from prison from that particular country, then an extradition process will then begin. Now, this is not a process that takes a few papers to be signed and then the person is handed over. No, it's a process that takes a very long time. Hearings have to be held. People need to come from that country where the accused has run away to and testify. Good example, two good examples, the Guptas, and the second one is Bushiri. Now, how long has Bushiri has left South Africa? How long the Guptas have left South Africa? And only when did the Guptas extradition hearing was heard? Of course, the South Africa was not granted the extradition due to a conspiracy. I think that's what Emirates thought, that now this is a conspiracy. They are not convinced that we have any good grounds for UAE to give South Africa the extradition order it sought out of Dubai. And now we are in Malawi, and I'm not quite sure who is going to mess up this one as well for South Africa to get Bushiri back to South Africa. As you can tell, it's a process. And Thabo Bester understands that very well, that he too was kidnapped from Tanzania. He hasn't made any applications yet. Basically, his application is going to climb on the back of his girlfriend, whom today we were convinced that the two are in love. If you did not see that, then you're blind. Honestly speaking, you know, I was like, so they really do love each other. And then Dr. Nandipha Magudumana, did you see when Thabo Bester was talking to her, that face of a submissive wife? I wonder if she ever did that with Dr. Magudumana. I'm talking about her husband. Because what I was witnessing, I was like, child, girl, you really love this guy, right? But anyways, we are not there. So, of course, he is waiting for his loving darling to win this case at the Supreme Court of Appeal, and then he makes his own appeal. And then that appeal is just going to be easy for Thabo Bester because it's going to be a precedent. That means it's a case that has already been ruled on, and now because he's a full qualified candidate for extradition because he escaped from prison, and therefore Dr. Nandipha Magudumana, when she wins that case, it makes it easier for him to launch an urgent application, which the order will be granted that indeed he was brought back to South Africa illegally. And now the question is then what happens? What happens because Thabo Bester is serving 65 years imprisonment. As you guys know, that he was found guilty for murder as well as RPing some models or or young girls that way in the hopes of becoming models. So, of course, he's convicted for that. It's not even an allegation. It is a fact. And he escaped from prison while he was serving his 65 years imprisonment. Initially, it was 75, and then I think 10 years was removed of his sentence, and then he was remaining with 65 years imprisonment. And now he only served, I think, eight years before he escaped. With the assistance of G4S, or G-Force as I call it, securities that were guarding the Mangaung Correctional Center where Thabo Bester was housed. And of course, all of these people are now in the dock along with him. But the question is, Thabo Bester did not become powerful or that powerful in prison, so much so that he is able to run multi-million-dollar businesses? How is that even possible? Free people like myself who are law-abiding citizens, we try for like financial assistance at banks and you name these financial institutions, and we don't. And then Thabo Bester, who's serving 65 years imprisonment, he is able to run a whole multi-million-dollar conglomerate, if you may, because from what we understand, there is over 800 million rand that is in store for Thabo Bester to get his hand on over it. Now, we also heard in court that his valuables were stolen. That was a bombshell that I was not waiting for or ready for when he actually instructed his attorney to let the court know that his valuables were stolen. Then okay, I thought I was going to I will re-listen to all the items, but of course I did not get the time. But I will just pick on the ones that I remember. He talked about an LV laptop bag that cost like whatever thousands of rands, but the ones that really caught my attention was items that costed 1.5 million rand, 2.5 million rand, 1 million rand, 2 million rand, 2 Rolex watches, and something else that cost something million. They had on them $36,000, which is about 275,000 rand. And they also had, I don't know if I heard correctly, they also had 500,000 pounds, like UK money on them, which I still believe. I still believe that, you know, when you are going to escape the country, you are going to ensure that wherever you are going to, you'll be well taken care of. That when you get there, because they are entrepreneurs, clearly, they are going to start a business of some sort, and then that's how they were going to live their lives happily ever after. And the question for me was, okay, let's say you successfully escaped. Because I still think they were going to Nigeria. And I will tell you the reason why I think they were going to Nigeria is because Nigeria is the most populated country in Africa, and possibly, and I'm not saying this is true, and possibly the justice system is not as efficient as that of South Africa. Somebody can commit a crime and get lost in the midst of all those people. Where are you going to find them if you're really looking for them? And then apparently the police in some of the African countries, just like in South Africa, are easily corruptible. All you do is just give them some money to keep quiet. That even if the pictures are plastered all over Nigeria or plastered all over wherever they were running to, all they had to do is go to the police commissioner or maybe the minister of police and say, here is R1,000,000. Tell your police people to get rid of all those placards of our faces, and so that they can live happily ever after. So I think that's where they were headed to, and to add on to that 300 million people in Nigeria, I don't know, that's what I think they were going to. And of course, this is where we also heard Thabo Bester's lawyer telling the court that Thabo Bester has a complaint that he wants to lay, and he's seeking an order from the court that he is handcuffed 23 hours of every single day at Jose Mampuru Correction Center. And of course, the court was a little bit surprised. I was also shocked that why do you have him in handcuffs throughout the day in the most secure prison in South Africa? Okay, maybe it's no longer that secure because an Ananias matter showed us that it is not that safe in Jose Mampuru. You can just apply Vaseline all over your body, go through those bars, and off you gone, which I still don't believe, because I think Ananias Mata was just as resourceful as Thabo Bester. He managed to get 80,000 rand from somebody and gave to the prison wardens, and then he literally waltzed out. He did not apply no Vaseline all over him because those bars are pretty thin for him to go through them. Seriously. And then after that you go through, how do you know the prison, blueprint? How do you know if I take this door, it's going to lead me here, and I take this one, it's going to lead me there, and I take that one out, I'm gone? No. Somebody inside that was working at Jose Mampuru, at that time I think it was called Pretoria CMAX prison, when he escaped. Now, no. He paid somebody or people to get him out. So Thabo Bester as well, he's in the safest prison, assumedly, and he's handcuffed almost 24 hours a day. That didn't make sense to me, and of course that is inhumane. Now, speaking about inhumane, Dr. Nandipha Magudumana herself lodged a complaint and said, the way I was brought here, it's inhumane. I was handcuffed in the back of a police van. And now everybody's like, wait a minute, but this is what exactly we were complaining about the last time we saw you kind of like beautifully getting out of a police van, carrying loads of clothes as if you're just coming from the Mall of Africa, Louis Vuitton shop to do some shopping, and into the prison you went. But when we saw Rosemary Ndlovu, yes, we'll always benchmark this with Rosemary Ndlovu, who, by the way, has changed people. Have you seen Rosemary Ndlovu when she goes to court? Child, she is beat. Like, beat. She looks beautiful. She's made up. She's got like beautiful hairstyle. She looks almost totally different. And then more shocking stuff are coming out about her. And of course, I haven't been following Rosemary Ndlovu's latest cases, but we are here on Senzo Meyewa and Thabo Bester. And of course, we're going to delve into Rosemary Ndlovu sometime during the week. But the point that I'm trying to make is, Dr. Nandipha Magudumana later complained. She says she's been treated, inhumane. And that order had come from above. And now the court, they sought an order for the court to refrain whoever that person that is above from treating Dr. Nandipha Magudumana in so humane way, because it violates on her dignity. And I was like, the audacity and the bravado and the chutzpah of Dr. Nandipha Magudumana to be lodging such an application when many prisoners, as a matter of fact, she's the one who showed us that prisoners in South Africa, they are not treated the same. And now when South Africans made a noise, and then of course that kind of pushed the powers that be above to say, handcuff her, from the Kroonstad the Kroonstad prison to Bloemfontein Magistrates Court and back. So I'm not quite sure when she was taken back. Was she handcuffed again at the back of a van and all that sort of stuff? I don't know. Because clearly when she was being brought to Bloemfontein from Kroonstad, she was brought in a sedan, not in a van. The van part, we only saw it when she was already in Bloemfontein. That was for the eyes and the cameras. But the way she was making that complaint, as if she's been brought to Bloemfontein in a sedan, probably even a Mercedes-Benz, child. So, of course, all the defense lawyers together with the state did agree, or at least came to a consensus that the next time they are going to appear in court is going to be on the 11th of October, 2023. So we have 2 months away, and of course, Dr. Nandipha Magudumana and Thabo Bester will not be seeing each other for the next 2 months. And did you see Dr. Nandipha Magudumana almost starting to cry? She was experiencing separation anxiety because she only got to be with her love for that brief moment, and now she was hoping that this hearing will take forever, so that she could be nearby. Did you see when they were holding hands? Did you see when they're holding hands? That was like, what? I'm still shocked. I'm still shocked that they were sitting together. I thought somebody was going to be in between them. You know, but of course, they have to go in a sequence as per the accused lineup. So Dr. Nandipha Magudumana being number 4 and then Thabo Bester being number 5, of course, they're going to be sitting next to each other. And of course, many people, their hearts melted. Yes, we know they are criminals, or alleged criminals. And of course, we sympathize and empathize and feel really, really bad for the Bereng family for the loss of their child. But at the same time, there's the other side of humanity. When you see something like love, of course, it's going to melt a lot of people's hearts. And of course, we come back and we want justice for Katlego Bereng. We want justice for Katlego Bereng. We want justice for everybody that is involved and affected negatively by Dr. Nandipha Magudumana as well as her boyfriend Thabo Bester. So, well, my honorable members of the clan, if you like the video, give it a like. If you didn't like the video, give it a like. Anyways, do subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not yet, and don't forget to click the bell notification so you get notified every time I upload a new video. My super thanks are turned on. Thank you so much to everybody that is super thanking this channel. The support that I'm getting from you guys is immense. Thank you all so much for that. And of course, leave me a comment down below and let me know what did you think about the appearance of the 12 at the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court today, and what did you think about the puppy love? The puppy love, I think, is going to be with us for a while, because let me tell you something, some of us were put to shame by Thabo Bester. A prisoner put some of us to shame. But anyways, we are not there anymore. Do share this video far and wide. Thank you so much for watching. Yes, I felt a little bit hot. That is why I removed my jersey, because this winter, it's like this. It snowed. Now we are almost in summer. Anyways, guys, goodbye.